have some questions now. So, there are so many students who are applying for companies like Litmus and everything. So, looking upon their resume, which is the biggest career gap that you're finding out?
So the same question that if you would have asked some 2 years back, it's more around their technical skills. I mean, what kind of programming language that they've learned and so on and so on. But from now to next, I mean, we all know that AI is one of the biggest topic. So when it comes to AI, the fundamental aspect is how you think matters a lot. So your ability to think and how deep you understand anything that we discuss. Second is your attitude and the passion around it, because without which nothing happens. The third is your foundational understanding. So what you learn, why did you learn what you learn? And so that clarity is very essential. There is only one thing which AI cannot replace, which is your intelligence level, your cognitive intelligence level, and also how you behave. So your attitude, your passion, the way you think is more important these days than your pure technology understanding.
So, if you were a student right now, like in 2026, how will you prepare yourself for the future?
I think I will be the worst student, and so I wouldn't know how I should be preparing. But then there will be a Venu like this, and you will be interviewing. I'll be watching an interview and learning it. But jokes apart, I mean, I think it's essential that we need to be going beyond the subject to understand where the world in itself is going. Because when we speak about AI, the AI that we are talking about is very primitive AI that we are seeing today. But the future of AI in itself is going to be very dangerous, because that's going to be pretty much more like a human thinking. So you are actually talking to someone who is very conscious, and also a machine which is conscious and also has all the power of this world. So what is human going to be eventually? So that means 10 years from today, that's what you're talking about. So your thinking and your way of assessing the future of the AI in itself is going to get you somewhere at least. There's no way we can predict what it is going to be, but it is going to be a different kind of a world, different kind of jobs. That's how it is going to be. But your understanding of AI still is going to work during those times.
There are still parents who are like hesitant on spending money or investing on educational technique. So what is your advice for them?
Is there any alternative? I mean, if you're worrying about not sending to the college because AI is going to take over everything and there's no point in your kids not studying, if that is an option, it's better not to study. So as of now, what we have these engineering courses where it's not just about studying alone, it's about giving the experience and exposure of how the world is going to be. And especially Mentor College, I mean, I think my association with them and the kind of people, the kids that I see, I think what we are doing good as a partnership here is we are finding kids earlier on in life who's got exposure to the industry world. I mean, how the world really works. So that works very well for us. So I don't think the parents have to be really worrying too much. I mean, most of the academics creates people who are job seekers. I mean, in some form as a starting stage, and then they become an entrepreneur or whatever that they want to. But at least every track of this engineering or arts or anything that you take, everything is replaceable. So that question doesn't have much of a relevance. I think send them to the engineering side. I mean, if that is what their taste is, and if you're choosing the engineering, I think the AI side of the world is going to be because being aware of what AI is and what AI can do is going to be a great asset in future. That's what I would say to those parents. And also, one more thing, if they're advising their kids, I think the kids have to really learn psychology a little bit. Behavioral science is going to be one of the prominent sciences going forward, because machines don't have the human that side of the faculty. So behavioral science will actually make them better prepared.
So we have internships and real world projects now, right? So how important is that in this current scenario of AI?
It's very important because without knowing how the industry works when you go and join a company versus you've taken internship and you've worked with certain companies and you've seen how client works, how some of these engineering job in itself works, because most kids, an engineering job is nothing but create an hospital management system or create a movie reservation system, and that's not how it is. Enterprise systems are very different. The kind of conversation that you have to do with multiple subsystems is very intricate and it's very deep. It's not what we learn in the colleges. So an exposure like that will actually prepare them really, really very well. There's no doubt about it. The internships are very, very important in my view. And these days, the kids that I see, they are actually better than the kids of the earlier times. there are kids who come in after 10th grade also to our college, to our company. We've seen brilliant kids.
So as we are talking about parents, we have a fear. Everyone is having a fear that AI will replace every jobs and everything, and we don't have any jobs in the future. So what is the point of doing all this education and everything, because anyways AI is gonna replace everything. So in the point of like Litmus company, which is the biggest role, or what job will replace, and what will be the growing job?
I think so. If some 20 years back when the smartphone happened and the technology happened, we never thought whatever that we are doing today will be the jobs of those times. So all these jobs, including the CIO and the CTO, all these roles actually happened after technology started happening. So likewise, this is a new era that is going to happen. So the difference between today and tomorrow is, today it's all about a structured system. We are trying to bring in a process to some of our real world problems. And then for that process, you're creating systems. So because the system has to work for 7.8 billion people. So it is one format, and we call it as structured systems. But humans don't interact in structured manner. The way you talk to me, the way I talk to you, after 5 minutes, if you want to ask the same question, you will be asking differently. So in that kind of an environment, the roles that are going to come and the kind of engineering job that people will be doing is very different from what they're doing now. So therefore, we can't imagine certain roles that are going to be emerging. That doesn't mean that because we don't know what those roles are, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be preparing our kids for. So our kids have to have the basic IQ, everything, the basics of everything that they need, plus the understanding of AI, how that works, because that's what the world is going to be using from now on. So the importance of AI is no way is going to diminish. What roles it's going to replace in my company, I think anybody who is some of the juniors in itself is in trouble, as in because current AI enhances the productivity, and the less productive people in any organization is the juniors. Yeah. So it's that doesn't mean that the juniors cannot be great. I mean, in my company, I'm a 1-year-old kid might be doing a 3 or 4-year-old experienced guy's job elsewhere. So it is all the exposure that matters. So it's not the problem with the kid in other company versus my company. It is the exposure that you give makes them who they are. So I think from that perspective, every layer will have its own problem. Even people who are into consulting. People who are into consulting will also have an issue, because most of this knowledge, consulting knowledge, when you have to have 10 people working in a consulting engagement, I think you will only need 1 or 2. There is going to be substantial reduction on employment, some substantial reduction on certain kind of capabilities, but it is going to offset that difference elsewhere. Maybe the future is going to be in terms of creating new intelligences and validating those intelligences. Okay. So a lot of people could come into that. And so we can't exactly predict these are the roles going to go off, these are the roles going to, but every role is going to have its own impact.
Lastly, if you want to tell one single thing to the students out there, what it would be?
Develop a good human in you, and that's what I believe is very essential. When I say good human, it is not about being nice. That's not what I meant really. What I meant is whatever that you're doing, you need to really know why you're doing this. And how is that actually impacting? So your larger contextual awareness is what is essential for you to become a better person. And don't be a taskmaster, but be someone who can actually think and apply and think and go beyond why someone has asked you to do certain things. So that you're not just following the task that is given by your manager, but you're actually understanding why your manager has given you the task, and then accordingly you put your brain and make it better, because that's what he wants. I mean, such quality is very, very rare in people, and if you demonstrate that, no managers would ever want to let go you. So if there are 100 people, if 90 people are going to be asked to go, that you will be part of the 10%. So being a better human, an aware person who is very aware, and of course kind, and also kind when I say attitude, good attitude, and your way of thinking. These are the things that is going to make you save your life in future.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.